But
So
yes,
apparently, it is our 8-year anniversary of being friends on Discord.
I
Huh.
saw this.
It was very exciting.
It's also been exactly 9.5 years since you and I got married.
Okay, 9.5. That makes more sense. I was like, wait, it's not September. I had a brain fart.
Play the
Wow.
music.
A golf clap. You
There's
can't
our
hear it,
intro.
but it's there.
Welcome to Two Men and an English Major, the show where a woman with 2 literature degrees attempts to educate 2 clueless men about the stories everyone says they should read. Hi, I'm Lynn. I'm the English major.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm the husband.
Hello, I am Jordan, and I am the friend.
I like that that's just how we've decided this goes.
I mean,
It's
it is what it
accurate.
is. It's true.
We are going to be doing a little bit of a shorter episode this week because I am prepping to go spend some time with my parents. So we have to record more than one. I know, gasp, we're not staying on the timeline.
Well, they don't need to know that.
I think that's okay. It's pretty well known that podcasters batch record.
I mean, I would hope they know that. But
Um,
yes, go on.
so I decided for our first one today, we are going to be talking about a short story in truly Victorian literature fashion. We are going to be talking about The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
This will be fun.
Indeed.
So written by Robert Louis Stevenson, published in 1886. It is so Victorian it hurts when it comes to style and the era and how it works. It has a lot about repression and duality and a lot of good versus evil and repressing your evil side, and of course sexuality is evil.
Oh, yes, we know that.
Yes. Um it's also kind of in that vein of when does science go too far? Um
You were so busy trying to figure out whether you could, you didn't stop to think about whether you should.
yes. When we talk about Frankenstein, which will be a long episode, I just forewarning both of you.
I kind of expected that.
I will go on a rant about how Jurassic Park is just modern Frankenstein.
Well,
Well,
yes.
I thought that was always obvious.
No, that actually freaks some people out when I point that out. Um,
Hmm. Okay.
this is less so. This is a little more Sherlock Holmes meets, well, no, I was gonna say Sherlock Holmes meets uh unrealistic science, but honestly, Sherlock Holmes has plenty of unrealistic science.
I was about to say, he really plays hopscotch with that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
There's also a really interesting through line in this story about the importance of your reputation and like the things people do to save their reputation. And if you follow that line throughout the story, it's like some of the decisions the characters make don't make sense unless you know their reputation is on the line.
Okay.
It is also like there's a lot of violence against innocent people and who should feel guilt for violence.
That's not
Hmm.
topical at all.
So this is also not like any of the adaptations of this story.
Hmm.
Well,
Like,
no, it's the original.
well, but like comics and adaptations and different versions of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde try really hard to make Hyde more intimidating and more terrifying.
More monstrous.
Yeah, he is not the Hulk. This is not the story of Hulk.
Well, no, that's.
Right. But I have seen that with some of the adaptations where Jekyll is kind of this meek unassuming,
Like bumbling
almost.
scientist.
Yes. If Banner was an idiot,
Yes.
Basically.
and then Hyde is Hulk, but not a genius.
Yes. Those exist. Those are wrong.
Well, yes, that's my point.
The dividing line between the two characters is much more the feeling of guilt for wrongdoing. So, like, Jekyll feels guilt for his wrong, for crossing social boundaries, for doing scandalous things. He doesn't want to be that person. And then Hyde just feels zero guilt whatsoever and does whatever the fuck he wants.
It's the line between moral and amoral, basically.
Yeah.
A man with a conscience versus a man who's a pure hedonist.
Yeah. What else do you guys know about this story? Because this is a pretty famous story.
I mean, one of my favorite adaptations is the version from The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but that's, because that movie is such a guilty pleasure that...
Yes, also that is a Hulk version.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, it
I
fit
know there's
for the
some
movie.
versions where it's like a serum that Jekyll drinks that turns him into Hyde. I don't know if that's true in this.
Yeah.
Hyde's not supposed to be that much. He's not supposed to be this giant hulking, like...
No. We'll talk about size and appearance at some point.
Okay.
It becomes important partway through.
Okay.
Jordan, what about you?
I don't remember much of it. It's been a very long time since I read it, in all honesty, so mostly
Understandable.
going in blind.
Okay. I will give my little spoiler warning, but it is a short story from the 1800s. Highly recommend reading it. It's already been spoiled for most people. The thing is that the audience who would have been reading it when it first came out would not have known the duality, two persons in one thing. So, like, that doesn't get revealed until the last 2 chapters of this short story. And so the whole thing is like this mystery novel detective story trying to figure out who Jekyll and Hyde are. Is Hyde blackmailing Jekyll? What is going on? And so as we're going through this, I am going to quote unquote pretend that they are separate people until we discover that they're not.
Suspension of disbelief. Got it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There are 10 chapters, but like I said, it's a short story, so they go pretty quick. We open our story in chapter 1 with Mr. Utterson, who is a lawyer, and his cousin, Mr. Enfield, who is a gentleman, and they decide to go for their weekly walk around highbrow, hoity-toity London. They have, like, nothing in common, and they mostly walk in silence, but it's apparently, like, the highlight of their week.
I mean, if you gotta get out of the house, you gotta get out of the house, but...
Whatever
like
works for you.
Opposite of what I would call the highlight of my week, but that's just me.
You're a cave troll.
Awkwardly
No, I'm
walking
not
around
talking
London with a
about the
cousin you don't get
walk.
along with.
Yeah, that part.
Okay.
The walk is fine. Being with someone I
Yeah.
don't like, no.
Yeah.
Fair.
As they're walking, they notice that there's this very ramshackle house that looks completely out of place. Someone's bringing down the property value in this neighborhood. How dare they? But Enfield points out, "Oh, I've been here. I know who's here." And starts to recount a story of catching this hideously ugly dude basically trampling a woman trying to run away. And a crowd stopping him, and the whole crowd just decides that this guy is evil and ugly. They decide that he is so ugly he must be evil, because there's this connection in Victorian literature between what's beautiful and what is good.
Yes.
Oh, it's the original Fable game problem.
Yeah, so it's very much the more attractive you are, the better you are as a person in this mentality.
Plot twist.
Yeah. characters in Victorian literature have, like, the way they are described physically very much reflects their moral standing. So this crowd just kind of looks at this guy and goes, "Wow, you're butt ugly. You must be evil." They don't think that because he was trampling someone he was evil. It's because he's ugly.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
However, the ugly dude whips out 100 pounds and bribes them all.
The other great equalizer, money.
Yes. Yes. Money is the great equalizer. But the 100-pound note is a check from somebody who has a good reputation as a nice person. And so everyone is shocked, like, where did he get this money? And they decide he must be blackmailing the good guy. And Utterson is like, I want the details. What are you talking about? Who are these people that you're telling this story about? And he finally, like, Enfield finally says, his name was Hyde. So he was, I think it's John or Hyde. The first names matter so little. And that he, like, that was the name of the ugly guy, but he won't say the name of who was on the check. The quote that he has here is, "I never saw a man I so disliked, and yet I scarce know why." That is probably the most descriptive we get for Hyde. Everyone thinks that they don't like him and that he's ugly, but no one can specifically describe him.
Seems a little convenient, but all right.
Extremely.
He just has this ugly quality to him. Also, it is repeatedly said that he is short.
Interesting.
Well, maybe that's why they thought he was ugly. He's just a short dude.
Yeah, short guys apparently are ugly. I'm sorry.
That explains so much.
I'm gonna bite my tongue on that. As the only person in this trio over 6 feet tall.
So, Utterson, upon hearing the name Hyde, has this aha moment, is like, I know who that is. And he also knows who's on the check. However, they both agree that gossiping is bad and we should shut up and not talk about this anymore ever again.
Well, yeah, they'll be ugly if they gossip.
And so that's the end of the first chapter. I love when a first chapter ends with, "We're never going to talk about this again," and then you have, like, the rest of the book.
Literally talking about it. Good job,
Yep.
boys.
So Utterson decides that no, he's actually going to investigate this. So real quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Um,
We could have ended the book so early.
Oh, you're not getting away that easy.
Self-control would end a lot of stories.
That's the
Sometimes
human
for the
condition.
best.
So Utterson, being a lawyer, remembers that he drew up a will for his best bud, Dr. Jekyll. And he goes to take a look at the will that basically says, "Give all my shit to Hyde if I croak or disappear."
I mean, at least it's simple.
You don't get much more simple than one sentence. You're right.
Yep. Utterson kind of reflects on this and goes, "Man, this is not a really good will. I probably shouldn't have endorsed and signed this."
No, you shouldn't have, sir.
Where's the legality?
That he brings the legality. He's the lawyer.
Oy vey.
So now he thinks that Hyde must be blackmailing or bewitching his buddy.
Sir, I don't think
which-
Hyde seduced your bro.
Well, I look at it and go, dude, why didn't you ask questions when you drafted the will?
It was Victorian England. They were all higher than a pot party on Cloud City.
Well, yeah, because they were all on heroin and other various drugs at the same time.
Puppies.
Opiates everywhere.
For everyone, including the kids.
There's a whole point about that in this later.
Oh boy.
Of course there is.
So, Utterson decides that he is going to go visit a mutual friend of his and Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Lanyon. Yes, that is his name. Who apparently hasn't heard from Jekyll in weeks because they argued over unscientific balderdash.
Well,
That's
a
turn of phrase.
He won't explain what that is.
over the game Balderdash.
This is true. best arguments I've ever witnessed were over the game Balderdash.
I think Ben disagrees with you.
Did I ever tell you the story of my mother's perfect winning hand in Balderdash?
I've heard it 1,000 times. Go on.
Okay, so they had Balderdash Ultimate, and that has like different categories. So it's not just here's a word, give us a definition. There were like people, and you had to say what they were famous for. And if you don't know how the game Balderdash works, essentially you have one person with a card, and they have like a word or a name or an acronym, and they'll give it out, and everyone around the table has to come up with a definition or why that person was famous. And then the person with a card collects them all, reads them all out in a random order, and everyone has to vote on which one they think is the right one. So with this one, it was some guy, I don't remember his name, but it was a why is he famous? And my mom wrote down, and everyone voted for her answer, because her answer was that he was the first man to swim the English Channel naked. And that just seemed so absurd. And the real answer that no one believed was that he invented the first dog and cat flush toilet.
Oh my.
Excuse me, I go beat my head against a wall.
Just real entertaining.
You are excused.
Okay.
All right. Ugh. That was necessary.
So, coming back from the unscientific balderdash, Utterson goes home. He has a nightmare of a child getting attacked by Hyde.
Oh, great. Now we've got prophecy involved.
And so he decides to start stalking the shack that they know Hyde is coming from. He is also super unnerved the first time he meets Hyde and cannot explain why. Hyde is very polite and offers, hey, here's my address if you ever need to find me. Which Utterson takes as, oh my gosh, he's so eager to get the will handed out to him. He must be planning to murder Jekyll.
Brother,
there's jumping to conclusions, and then there's this.
Yep.
That is a rocket ship to conclusions.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. No, that's exactly what it is, and they haven't even invented rocket ships yet.
Utterson then explains to the reader what he has apparently known this whole time, which is that the shack that is bringing down property value in this rich neighborhood is actually Jekyll's lab, attached to his townhouse.
Huh.
So he decides to pop in for a visit with Jekyll, and he ain't home.
Of course not.
So he talks to the servants, and the butler tells him that they are ordered to always obey Mr. Hyde when he comes by, and Hyde has keys to everything, which all just reconfirms to Utterson that this man must be blackmailing Jekyll.
Okay.
Well, because Jekyll has such a good reputation that you have zero suspicion that he is going to do anything bad. Okay, so on to chapter 3.
Time skip.
2 weeks later. Jekyll throws a party.
Oh boy.
And Utterson decides to stay late, like the creepy stalker that he is.
I'm really starting to not like him.
Yeah. He's very dumb.
Well,
like, the amount of dumb here is so much. He confronts Jekyll about Hyde. Says, like, who is this guy? Why does he have access to your fortune? Why are you so dependent on him? And Jekyll basically just says, I can't talk about it. I can dump him whenever I want. Don't worry about it.
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
Sounds like a serious addiction.
Yeah. We're not sure how he's addicted to Hyde, but there's just some real red flag addicted words there.
You just can't quit him.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're not talking about that. No. No Brokeback Mountain.
Not where my head was going, but all right.
That was what the quote was from.
Oh. Never seen the movie, so.
You don't.
Neither have I, actually.
No one. Okay, well, we might.
No. No,
No?
we are putting our collective foot down and saying no to that.
It is an adaptation of a short story.
Don't care.
Hush.
Utterson makes Jekyll promise that he can get rid of Hyde if he needs to. And then we move on to chapter 4, which is another big time skip. A
No.
whole year later.
Oh my.
Damn.
Yes. I know. Short story, long time frame. A year later, we hear about a maid who has witnessed Hyde beating a member of parliament to death with a stick.
Wow.
That escalated quickly.
I mean, I kind of don't blame him.
Well, no, I don't.
Everyone secretly wants to beat a politician to death with a stick.
Secretly. Who have you been hanging out with?
I don't know about a stick, but yeah.
I won't say openly. But yeah, so a maid witnessed this, and the guy from Parliament was a client of Utterson's.
Oh boy.
So Utterson is like, I should do something about this, and decides to go investigate Hyde's house.
Oh, good. Wish.com. Fucking Holmes is on the case again.
Yeah, basically.
This can only end well.
That's an insult to Wish.com. I never thought I'd be saying that.
That's an insult to a lot of things.
Let me guess. Hyde lives in a shitty part of town.
Yes, in fact, he is in the poor, evil-looking part of town.
Imagine
So
that.
the ghetto.
Again, yeah, if it looks gross, it must be evil.
Ugh.
His evil landlady tells them he ain't home, and hasn't been for a while.
Man, just call her ugly. Don't call her evil.
You know, the two are interchangeable in Victorian lit.
Yeah, basically.
Rude.
It's the British. What do you expect?
He has conveniently found the murder weapon and a burned checkbook.
So he did one useful thing this entire story. Good for him. You want a
Yeah.
gold star?
I don't know.
He takes all this to the police, like you should.
Yes.
And then the police agree that they're gonna wait at the bank that the checkbook is from, because Hyde's gotta withdraw money eventually. So we'll just catch him when he goes to get money. Unfortunately, several weeks go by and nope, no withdrawals.
You'd think he would
So
have
they,
burned the checkbook if he thought he was going to need money anytime soon?
I get the feeling that Hyde here is gonna disappear-ish. Because he committed murder of a very important person.
I mean, generally speaking, that is a good reason to make yourself go and vanish.
What I want to understand is why, after a couple weeks of him not showing up at the bank, basically everyone gives up on trying to find him and just goes about their lives again.
Because
Yeah, let's not worry about this man that murdered someone and then just on into the ether. It's fine.
People also still can't describe him. They all just describe him as evil.
I think some people need to lay off the stimulants and the opiates here. Clear their heads a little bit.
Lay off the drugs.
The man just looks evil, okay? Can't have those short guys around.
Okay. Story time.
Oh no.
As a 6'3" junior in high school, when I was cast as Monsieur Dark in Beauty and the Beast, all it took was some decent costuming and some good makeup, and I literally gave small children nightmares.
I mean, valid. But also, good costuming and good makeup can do that to anyone.
That's what I'm saying, is that just because someone looks utterly terrifying doesn't mean they're automatically
evil.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware of this. The Victorians were not. Someday we will talk about Jane Eyre and how racist that rabbit hole goes.
I don't know if we should, but okay.
There's a lot of I don't know if we shoulds, but we probably wills on this podcast, buddy.
So chapter 5. In chapter 5, Utterson goes to visit Jekyll because, we're trying to find Hyde. We're going to go to the guy who's leaving everything to Hyde in his will. And he is not looking too hot.
What,
Like, he looks sick, he looks pale, he looks like he's been wasting away, he is not doing good.
oh, so the whole walking cadaver look.
Yeah. Also, like, withdrawal symptoms?
Imagine that.
He does, however, say that no one is ever gonna find Hyde. I pinky swear he's gone for good.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So he has this letter that Hyde gave him, that assures Jekyll Hyde is going to escape. Don't worry about him. He doesn't deserve your generosity. He's going to be gone forever now. It's very emo.
I was about to say, I've heard angsty millennial teenagers with more,
Entitlement?
I was going to say joie de vivre, but
It's a very convincing letter that says, I'm gone now. You don't have to worry about me. Okay, thanks, bye.
mhm.
Utterson takes the letter and tells Jekyll that Hyde was probably trying to build up evidence and then murder him, which, again, prevailing theory is that Hyde is a murderer who is going to murder Jekyll so that he can inherit all of Jekyll's property. That is what we're going with right now. So Utterson gets ready to leave and he stops and asks the butler who delivered the letter. And the butler is utterly baffled. Like, what? What letter? No one's been around for weeks to deliver anything. What are you talking about?
The plot, it thickens.
So then he goes to have drinks with his buddy Guest, who is apparently a handwriting expert.
Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
Narrative convenience.
So he shows him the letter from Hyde and something else he has that has Jekyll's handwriting on it. And lo and behold, they're basically the same handwriting, just slanted different directions.
That's a firk.
Indeed.
And that's where that chapter ends.
Okay. Fun way to end a
Abrupt.
chapter,
I guess.
Stevenson is very much about the cliffhanger endings to chapters. This is also the time period where things were published in serial form, so like you'd get a chapter in a magazine every
Right.
week. So cliffhangers kept people reading.
Asshole.
Chapter 6. So we're at the halfway point now. Jekyll starts to become healthier. He doesn't have his emo hanger on anymore, so he's doing okay.
Gee, imagine that.
It's 2 months later, he decides to throw another party. Everything seems fine. We're all doing great. Then, a couple days later, Utterson tries to visit and gets turned away at the door. Nope, Jekyll won't have anyone over.
Oh boy.
Keeps trying for a week, just keeps getting rejected. So he decides to go visit our old buddy, Dr. Lanyon. Because maybe Lanyon knows something. Turns out Lanyon is dying of shock.
Huh?
So he is basically narrative conveniently on death's doorstep because he has had such an extreme shock to his system that his body can't handle it.
Shock like in shocking event or accident?
Shocking event,
Okay.
not electric shock.
He didn't stick a fork in a light socket.
No, he just had something revealed to him that was so distressing that now he's gonna die.
Grow up, you pansy.
And when Utterson is like, yeah, Jekyll seems kind of sick too, Lanyon just immediately jumps down and is like, no, do not talk about him ever. He is awful.
Okay.
Yeah. Then he gives so Lanyon gives Utterson a letter and says, you can read this letter when I'm dead.
Wow. Emo much?
Just a lot of it.
So Utterson writes to Jekyll and is like, dude, what on earth? What's going on?
The fuck, man?
And Jekyll says, listen to Lanyon, he's right. I'm gonna keep hiding from everybody. Yay, thanks, bye.
Hermit mode activate.
Yep. So then Lanyon dies, and before Utterson can open the letter that Lanyon wrote, he gets another note from Lanyon's estate saying, JK, you can't read that or open anything and read anything until Jekyll is also dead.
Huh?
I did.
Now,
Bravo, you've rendered us both speechless. That's impressive.
So here's the part where reputation becomes even more of a big deal here.
Oh no.
Because this whole time, like, self-control has not been Utterson's thing. He's been
It
very
hasn't been
nosy.
anyone's thing in this book.
Except maybe Jekyll.
But
Eh.
because these are legal documents and he is a lawyer and his reputation is on the line, he follows the instructions and puts away Lanyon's letter and won't open it until after Jekyll is also dead.
Wow.
Damn lawyers.
If he had opened it here, the rest of the book would be very different.
Well, I guess we'll
It
get
might
into
not
that.
be a bad thing.
Then we have chapter 7. So Utterson and Enfield are on their walk again, just like the beginning of the book. And they walk past Jekyll's house. And Jekyll is sitting at the window with the window open, getting fresh air, and he looks very pale and sickly and depressed. And they offer, hey, you want to come out for a walk with us? Because that might do you some good.
Get out of the house.
Yep. And Jekyll's like, no, I can't leave. And then suddenly panics, slams the window shut, and runs away.
Okay, Dracula, have fun.
End of chapter 7. So then we get to chapter 8. Chapter 8 is kind of like the climax of the story. So chapter 7 ended with the crazy window moment. Chapter 8 is the butler, so Jekyll's butler, comes over to Utterson's house for the first time. Like, this man is out of his own home for the first time in the narrative. Because something is wrong.
Must be if the
Well,
butler's off the
clearly.
premises.
Yes. So it's time to go visit Jekyll.
Oh boy.
And in Victorian lit, important to note, the weather will reflect what's going on in the story.
Because of course it will.
So it is night, and it is storming, and it is creepy out.
The night is dark and full of terrors.
Yes. And as they get into the house, they go to the door to the lab, and a weird-ass voice says, "No visitors!" So the butler and Utterson go into the kitchen to sit and have tea and talk about this situation.
Yeah, that's a good idea when some voice you can't place just said, no, I don't want visitors right now.
Well, and the way they talk about it is like, why would a murderer stay in the lab if he just killed someone?
Why are we in the kitchen talking about this?
Yeah, seriously.
Why didn't we just shit ourselves when we heard him?
Well, the butler has apparently been hearing him for days now. Apparently this mystery voice has been there for a while.
Maybe it's all in my head. I don't know. I might be going crazy.
Maybe we should just call the fucking cops.
The mystery voice keeps sending the butler on errands to different chemists to try and find ingredients for something.
Yeah, let me guess, nobody has them.
No one has them, and the ones he does bring don't seem to be working.
Huh.
I'm assuming it's not eye of newt, toe of frog, all that.
Those are all references to different plants you can find in the Scottish Highlands.
Well, you learn something new every day.
We'll talk about that with Macbeth.
Of course we will.
So Utterson suggests that maybe Jekyll has some kind of disease that makes him look and sound different.
Utterson, why?
He's really grasping at straws here.
Have a brain. A quarter of a brain cell, even. Do you have it?
I'm gonna go with no here, bud.
But the butler says no. The mystery voice is definitely Hyde. At which point, Utterson's like, "Oh hell no, we're not dealing with that guy again. That guy's awful." So they decide to break into the lab.
Why is that the best course of action?
This feels like a rejected sketch for Men in Black.
I'm sorry, this feels like a rejected sketch from SNL.
Honestly, yeah, that could be a good one.
Depends on who you cast as who.
I want Utterson played by Steve Martin.
Horatio
Yeah,
Sands as Hyde.
Yes.
Adam Driver is Jekyll.
I can dig it.
Look, you will accept Adam Driver in almost any role.
Most of them, yes.
Christopher Walken could also work as Hyde.
This is true.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So they decide to break into the lab. They arm themselves with a fireplace poker and an axe.
Okay. Okay,
Because,
axe, maybe. Fireplace poker.
I mean, if you're a decent fencer, it's a good weapon, but
as they're breaking into the lab, Hyde is on the other side of the door, basically asking them, please don't.
Could you not?
Yeah,
Well,
they're just like, nope.
Very kind. Please, sirs, do not break into my lab.
By the time they break through the door, they find Hyde dead on the floor with a vial of suspicious liquid crushed in his hand. And he's wearing a suit that's way too big for him. Again, if you were reading this in Victorian times, you still don't know what the twist is. And you're not even suspicious of the twist.
Right.
This is a murder mystery. We're trying to figure out why people are dying.
I get it. It's just...
But they also look around and they find no corpse of Jekyll. So Jekyll's not here either.
Awkward.
There's just a letter written to Utterson that says Utterson now inherits everything.
Convenient.
A note with today's date, which gives him hope that Jekyll must still be alive. That says go home and read Lanyon's note, which is like, okay. And then another note from Jekyll, which is sealed.
I guess we better go to the reading corner.
Yeah, so the next 2 chapters are literally just the letters from Lanyon and Jekyll.
Interesting.
So Lanyon's letter is chapter 9, and it says that at one of Jekyll's more recent parties, Jekyll asked him to steal a drawer of chemicals from his lab, and take them out to a guy in the park, or a guy would come to his house at midnight to pick them up. And just don't ask questions.
That's not sketchy at all.
All right, working with the triad.
Yeah. So he gets a locksmith and they go to the house and they break into the lab. He finds a lab notebook that is the worst lab notebook ever. I will tell you, any teacher, like science teacher I've ever worked with would give this person an F.
And then probably beat them
with said notebook, yes.
Yeah.
Because all it is dates and then like a scribbled note of double dosage or failure next to the date.
Bad scientist. Bad. No.
No biscuit.
So
Rub
the
their
lab
nose in it.
notebook doesn't give him any help or any indicator of what's going on. At midnight, Hyde comes to get the chemicals and shows up at Lanyon's house. Because of course it's Hyde. Who else would it be?
So this is taking place before...
Yes, this is him explaining something in the letter to Utterson. So this is Lanyon's confession letter of what happened. Okay. Jekyll asked me to break into his lab, get these chemicals, and then a guy would show up at midnight. The guy who showed up at midnight was Hyde. And then Hyde starts mixing ingredients from this chemical drawer and asks him, do you want me to drink this now in front of you, or do you want me to leave first? And Lanyon is just like, I'm in it now. I guess I want to see what this does. So he then drinks and transforms back into Jekyll. Yes. A couple of phrases used here. He was so shocked it would stagger the unbelief of Satan. Which is impressive. And he calls it transcendental medicine, which I find really entertaining because the transcendentalists are about to become a thing.
Both of those words are doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
ooh.
And he realizes he's so shocked by watching this transformation and seeing this ungodly, unholy, what has science wrought, that he is now going to die because of this knowledge.
A little
I
melodramatic,
don't
but
think it
alright.
was the knowledge that killed you, sir, but
I
sure.
mean, they're the Victorians.
They're nothing if not melodramatic.
Exactly. So then,
They're
we get
prudes is
chapter
what
10.
they are.
Well, that's neither here nor there, but anyway.
Chapter 10 is from Jekyll, is Jekyll's letter to Utterson. Basically recapping most of the story. Says that he inherited a lot of money, a really good life. He was really set up to do well in life, and he was good at maintaining a seriousness in public that kept his reputation good, but in private, he was very good at being indecent.
He was an animal.
Yes. And so he started to live a double life and started kind of splitting in his head between his good self and his evil self.
So it's almost like multiple personality disorder.
Almost. This, like, it was very much about the duality of men have a good side and a bad side, and this we're splitting them up so much that never the twain shall meet.
Okay.
He was constantly feeling guilty for what his darker side did. So all of the depravity and debauchery that his darker side would get into, his lighter side would feel guilty about later.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yep. So he started studying the mystic arts and their connection to the sciences, trying to find a solution to this, because apparently the solution to feeling guilty is not stop doing evil shit. It's how can I make myself feel less guilty through drugs?
Yes,
I mean,
that is
that's
most definitely the solution.
I mean, that is fairly on brand for Victorian England.
Yeah.
Stop doing the bad shit? No.
Stop doing the things that are terrible for my reputation, that I am going to repress with every ounce of my being. No, why would I do that?
Or
Let's find
do
drugs
those
that fix
same
this.
things, but high as balls.
Yes.
Like I said, higher than a pot party on Cloud City.
Eventually, he made a potion that turned him into Hyde, who I have nicknamed the Short King of Debauchery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not wrong.
So it basically turns him into the personification of his dark side. He comes to the conclusion that he must be shorter and younger because he's just the evil side alone, which has been repressed and not given enough time to grow and mature, and also didn't show up in him until he was at least a couple years old. So it's a little bit younger than him.
What the hell?
Okay.
He gets all excited that he now has an outlet for his evil.
Sir.
Yeah. So I can turn
There's
into Hyde,
excitement,
go do the evil stuff, and then not have to feel guilty about it.
There's
Flawless plan.
There's twisted logic, and then there's
This flawless plan.
You could call it that, but you'd be very, very wrong.
The problem is that he starts changing into Hyde against his will.
Oh,
and without the potion.
Who could have seen that coming?
So he's a little worried about getting stuck as Hyde. Decides to give it up. And lasts for about 2 months. And this was those 2 months where he seemed like a weight was lifted off his shoulder and no one had heard from Hyde in 2 months. And like he threw a party, everything was great.
And then he relapsed.
Yep.
And then oopsie doodles murder.
Yep. Whoopsie doodle myrtle. Myrtle?
Yes.
Oopsie doodle myrtle. Yes, he turned into a tree.
You know what?
You are not editing that out.
because of this, it just kind of, like, broke the floodgates. Uh, so he became weary of constantly being virtuous and started doing evil things as Jekyll because he couldn't stand being perfect all the time, which caused him to spontaneously turn into Hyde. And now the drug has morphed, so he needs the drug to stay Jekyll.
Well, that's
Yeah?
huh.
He eventually gets to a point where
That's not how drugs work.
he can't go 6 hours without changing if he doesn't have the meds.
It's got to be hell in the
Ah,
musculoskeletal system to keep doing that down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
talk to a doctor if you can't stay
He is
untransformed
a
for
doctor.
less than 6
No,
hours.
no. At this point, I'm revoking his medical license.
I mean, by Victorian standards, he's pretty revolutionary.
Not in a good way.
Um, he starts getting these new ingredients, trying to make more of the potion because he is running out of it. Unfortunately, one of the salts that's involved in the potion, even though he keeps getting a replacement for it, it's not working anymore. So he is convinced that there was an impurity in the first batch of the salt that was what actually caused it to work, and that impurity is not there and he can't identify it. Which is basically the MacGuffin book way of saying, no, you can't actually make this potion in real life. There was some magical thing that was making it happen that we can't identify and you're never going to find.
Oh, darn.
I'm sure someone was going to
Yeah,
try.
There's idiots and freaks everywhere.
I'm sure people have tried anyways.
The ingredients aren't working, and it basically hits at the end of it, he hits by the time you read this, Jekyll will be no more. And since we know Hyde is dead, we kind of just like, okay, that's what happened. They're both dead now.
Rather abrupt, but all right.
So it's just an assumption we make that both are dead, or it's
Well, they
fated?
have to both be dead since we have the corpse of Hyde.
I mean,
I would assume so, but
logic would dictate, but logic, I think, has flown the coop.
yeah, logic
Hmm.
left the chat long ago.
Logic saw who was in the chat and said, "Nope, not gonna do this."
Logic and reasoning are over with Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, it left as soon as we started episode 1. So,
Yeah.
I tried to start us in such a way that you guys would be set up for the insanity of being crash course literature majors.
oh, please. You knew you were never going to set me up for that.
Yeah,
You
no, I'm with
hoped,
Jay on this one.
I hoped.
but you knew deep down.
I did. So that was our 7th story we've gone through.
It's pretty good.
7 episodes,
Thoughts?
not bad.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing where this thing goes from here. Also, I think I prefer some of the adaptations to the original when it comes to this one.
Yeah, I can see it.
Like,
Um,
I can see where people got the idea to sort of make the parallel between Hulk and Banner and Hyde and Jekyll.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going for the animalistic versus like civilized, it makes sense.
yes.
Versus the ego.
The problem is that in the original, it was evil versus good. And I don't really think Jekyll is redeemable in the original.
No.
Because he's looking at it like, how do I find a way to get out of feeling guilty? Whereas in all the adaptations, he's more like, I made this serum by accident and now I feel all the guilt ever.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
So it's kind of a story of like, what do you do with guilt and what is the way to process guilt?
Not with drugs.
No. Here at Two Men and an English Major, we do not endorse treating your guilt with drugs.
I mean, unless they're prescription by a licensed and qualified psychiatrist. But
and come along with much counseling.
yeah, don't shoot up heroin or any of the other big bads and then try to rewire your brain yourself. It won't end well.
No.
Go to somebody who is a licensed mental engineer. Let them rewire your brain for you.
If you can't make neurotransmitters of your own, store-bought is just fine.
Exactly. No fan mail this week, but in general, we are enjoying this. I am still figuring out some of our issues with Spotify, but I will get through that hopefully before this episode even goes out. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, all sorts of different places. iHeartRadio, I think, also has us. Amazon. So if you can't find us on Spotify or if the episodes aren't uploading, those are some places you can find us. In addition to that, we have our Facebook page where I post pretty regularly with updates and little helpful bits of extra things for the pod, like the family tree of the Buendias from last week.
Okay, that wasn't a tree so much as it was an ivy tress.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
There were too many circles and not enough straight lines.
I do not have a visual aid for this one, but I may have more cute cat pictures. We will need them for next week.
Oh no, what are you doing next week?
Wuthering Heights.
Oh.
Look, the movie just came out, and so I have to do it soon because
no, you don't.
We gotta bank on that engagement farming.
Oh crap.
Oh, Wuthering Heights is so bad.
I wish I still drank for that one.
I'm sure we can figure something out.
I mean, I have a non-alcoholic Guinness. That'll have to do.
Thank you all for listening, and have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Good night.